number one then, and number one now.
You're listening to Heffron and Reed. Heffron and Reed. Rated #1 podcast by the World Podcasting Federation and the Podcast Ranking Association. No, for reals. It says it right here.
It's the Heffron and Reed Bonus Show.
Oh, sweet!
This is the place where the guys upload bonus shows while they're on the road. Sometimes it's just John. Other times it's John and John.
Huh?
Either way, it's all good.
Exactly what that guy said. This is the Heffron, Reap, and Butera.
Sometimes it's John and John. Sometimes it's John, and Rachel. Sometimes it's just me.
Perfect. I have no idea how any of this sounds. It's amazing that we actually did this, but it's another installment.
We need to take a picture of this, by the way, before you pack it all up and just put it up on the website so people can see what kind of a bird's nest we've kind of made here.
Professional operating environment.
Yeah, it's good. How are you guys doing?
Good. How are
Doing
you?
well, buddy. How about you, Rachel?
I'm good. I'm hot, though, man. It's too hot for me.
It is like, what, 105 outside?
I don't want to complain about the weather and talk about the weather, but I'm a person who doesn't like extremes of any kind.
Oh.
Like, yeah, I don't like it too hot, too cold.
Oh,
I don't
right.
want anything to anything.
Yeah.
Except chocolate. That's it.
Right.
You can never get enough chocolate. I
Can't
get you.
much of that.
I like it when it's, if I had to choose one, if someone said, like, would you rather it be too hot or too cold? I go too cold every time.
I go too cold.
Well, you can always wrap up.
Because you can always wrap up. You
can only
can't get cool.
You can only get so naked before you're out of things to take off.
I go swimming. I go to the public pool to do laps and stuff. It's too hot to
Gross.
swim. I know it is gross. You would die.
I would never go in it.
You would die. Yeah, you wouldn't even go
I've never
near
used
it.
like
Can you imagine?
a hotel pool. I've never used a hotel jacuzzi.
Yeah, you
I've
wouldn't
never
do
taken a
that.
bath in a hotel.
You've never taken a shower in a hotel?
The
I've
bath.
taken a shower, but I've not taken a bath.
You're not going to sit there.
I wouldn't.
I wouldn't take a bath in a
wouldn't get in a
hotel
bath.
unless it was like a big jacuzzi type, in a like a Las Vegas suite or
You know
something.
what though?
Right.
I guess when I was in Vegas last week, they had this thing called the Japanese soaking tub. It was this big bathtub,
Yeah.
and then you're right next to a window, and it overlooks all of
Beautiful.
Vegas. So I loaded that thing. I did.
You
fill
got in
up.
that.
It looked, but it was a nice. I was at the Cosmopolitan. It was a nice hotel.
So
it was in your room.
It was in a room.
Oh, I
Yeah,
thought it was like
yeah.
a thing
And
that
it-
you went to. Like
No,
a
it looked
bathhouse.
like an endless pool.
Ah.
So when you're in the
Infinity.
bathtub, it looks like you're literally
infinity tub.
above everybody. You
Oh,
look
that's
like
cool.
32 stories up. So
That's
I did
amazing.
go.
I
in
would
there.
never get
but
out
I
of that
checked
thing.
for pubes and I checked for all that stuff.
Well, there's so much chlorine in these pools.
Yeah.
You're not going to get anything. I mean,
It's still-
no one ever does. What are you worried about?
That's true. No one ever does if you think
You're
about
going to be
it.
fine. Enjoy your life, John.
It's
Eat,
just it's
eat a
gross to
burger
me.
off the floor every now and then.
It just it's
When did you develop your germaphobia and sort of these things? That
I don't know if I have. Well, yeah, just recently. Like now, I got a thing with wet naps or whatever, those alcohol things. When I go into a hotel room,
Yeah.
I'll wipe off the remote control.
yeah.
Most jizzbism on him on that. So I'll wipe off the remote, the phone, the handles.
Wow. You're pretty hardcore.
And the definitely where my computer's going. That whole area, workspace.
Yeah.
I take those
I
bacteria
would
wipes
say-
and I wipe off all of that. And
Yeah.
then I also wipe off the chair because I think a lot of
That's what I was going to say.
nasty happens on that chair right
More
there.
than the remote, I think that desk chairs where most of the business happens, the jizz business.
How
that
do
you
you
said.
how do you get in the bed and sleep? Do you sleep do you sleep just in your underwear?
Oh, good gosh, no.
I'm sure you've got like a whole uniform you put on to fall asleep.
I have
Armor.
adult pajamas. I have a pair of sweatpants and a hoodie.
Right?
You don't
a
wear a
hoodie?
hoodie to
Even
sleep
in the
in.
summer when it's hot?
Yeah,
No, you don't.
I have a hoodie. It's a thin one. It's not a big
How
one.
do
You put it on your head when you
I
go
don't
to sleep?
know, but I used to travel with these. It was these silk sheets. That was like a sleeping bag,
Yeah.
and then you'd put it on your bed, and then you could climb into the silk little sleeping bag, and then there was the thing that went over the pillow. You know, like so. Then you had your whole little
Yeah.
area that
Wow.
no one's ever touched.
Like you're camping out all the time.
But the reason why,
silk.
but the reason why I didn't like it is once I was in the sleeping bag, silk sleeping bag, I was like, if somebody comes in here and starts killing me, I can't fight myself off because now I'm stuck like in a potato sack.
You're in a cocoon.
You think too much.
So I'm like, I need to cut this and then Velcro it so I have like an escape pod so I can rip myself
because
out
you
of
hear
it.
about
That's
a lot of
hilarious.
killings in hotel rooms.
Yes.
You know, that happens
and
quite
the
often.
reason why they got killed was that they were in a cocoon. They couldn't get out in time.
But this is a recent development. You haven't
It's
always
new.
dealt with this.
I think I'm growing into it.
Do you get sick a lot?
I don't though.
Yeah.
I feel, but
Do you
that's
think
just
it's
me in
because-
general. I feel shitty pretty much every day. But
That's because you
it's-
drink those. I saw what you're drinking. You drink that stuff, do you?
Which ones? The
Those
5 hours?
plastic things
Oh.
that you took a picture of with the foil tops. You said you bite them open with your
Oh
fangs.
no! Oh, I used to. Oh, I know what you're talking about.
It was just a sea
Is this
of
on
like
Facebook or
fake
something?
color. You remember those little?
They
those
look like
fruit drinks in a
barrels.
barrel.
Oh,
like
yeah.
plastic
you used to
barrel.
get them for
I
lunchtime.
did see that
He
picture.
said he
yeah.
likes to open them with his fangs. I'm like, oh,
yeah.
John, tell me you're not drinking.
No.
Well, those
these.
things were
I
like
haven't-
5 cents.
Yeah, I haven't had those since I was,
It was
like
that was a kid thing, right?
I thought you meant you saw my car where I'm pretty addicted to 5 hour energies, but I don't drink coffee or
Right.
anything.
But it's probably worse than coffee. But we talked
don't
about
know.
your nutrition before, and it's
I'm
not the
trying
best.
to. Yeah, I'm leaving in 2 weeks. I'm leaving to go all through Canada, 5 weeks straight on the road, never coming home.
Wow.
And I'm trying to. In my brain, I'm like, oh, that's gonna be a great time to kind of detox, because 5 weeks is a long time.
Yeah.
And you can kind of get rid of some decent habits if you can do it. So I'm like, I might not have sleeping pill it, which I do every time I'm on the road.
Sleeping pill.
What
Yeah.
kind of sleeping pill are you
Ambien?
taking? Ambien?
I take generic Ambien,
yeah.
but I eat on it. But I've told the story on here before.
Okay.
Oh yeah,
Right?
that's right. You eat
I eat food and
eat.
and I have no idea that I ate.
You can't fall asleep without Ambien on the road?
I probably could, but now I'm just so lazy. It just seems like a lazy man's way to just shut things
Plus,
down.
when you need to fall asleep, you don't have time to lay there and think about, well, I hope I fall asleep in the next 2 hours.
Well, yeah,
Knock it
especially
out. Take a pill.
if you go West Coast, East Coast,
Right.
Yeah.
and then you get in, let's say 1 o'clock a.m., and then you're getting picked up to do radio at
Yeah.
5:30 a.m.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You don't. A lot of times it's that. If I take one like the car service picks you up or the cab or whatever you take, I'll take the sleeping pill there and go. Hope I'm in my hotel room in 20 minutes.
Wow.
By the way,
I've thought about that before, like timing it just right. So like, thank you, good night, and in your hand you have a sleeping pill. Boom.
yeah, I've done it.
Or you could
Really?
go the other way and
That's
just do
hilarious.
coke and just stay up the whole time.
Yeah.
You
So
could do
never
that way.
sleep.
Yeah, and then eventually that's all gonna catch up to you.
Yeah.
Speaking of radio, I did I won't say it's this week. I won't say it's the week that just happened. Let's just make it a general thing. I did morning radio recently where I'll ask John this question.
I know where it was, I think.
Yeah, I don't want to say it just in case the guy, I don't think he probably listens to the podcast because you never want to hurt anyone's feeling. But man, you do so many different morning radio shows that the interviewer, some of them are really good.
Mm-hmm.
Other ones, it's literally the most painful
Torture.
experience you've ever had.
Right.
Ever had somebody try? The guy goes to me, do you want me to set you up with anything? Or do you just want to have a conversation? That's usually what most radio guys do. They go,
And that's a nice question.
and they go, do you have any lead-ins? Which
Right.
I hate because then as a comic,
Yeah.
you go, ask me about my wife. I just got a new car. And then you have jokes kind of prepared. So when
Right.
the guy asks you, then you can be funny on the radio to sell tickets.
Yeah.
I get it.
yeah.
So I go, just leave. From doing radio before, I'm really good at normal conversation. I can get into a bit without you having to go, so John,
Right.
I heard you just got a new toaster.
Right.
Yeah.
Like they
No,
do on
it's-
the late night shows.
Yeah.
for
So
everybody.
I'm
So
decently.
you can do that, and they won't even know that you're going there.
Yeah.
So that's perfect.
That's good.
So
It's good
this guy
skill.
goes, what do you want to do? And I said, let's just start talking, and I will jump into something.
Right.
So this guy he went online, which he did some research,
Right.
found 2 clips of my stand-up. One of the bits that I do is dumb things you do in a car, I think is how it's titled. And the joke is, you ever be in your car and you turn your car on and the car's already on and it makes that noise.
Right.
And then I go, and everyone wants to look at the dumbass. So, and I have a huge thing about
Yeah.
that, and it's sitting in the car
Yeah.
and the car next to you starting to move and you think your car's in reverse. Like it's an
Right.
old bit
Yeah.
that I don't ever really do, but it's a really funny video.
Okay.
So he watched that stuff. Okay,
Right.
so he goes to me, he goes, so what's going on? I go, that's great, blah 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 blah. I do a whole bit that I thought was entertaining. He goes, oh, that's crazy. So when you're in town, do you ever drive?
What a segue. Ham-handed
Right?
segue.
Yeah. So then I was like, yeah, I drive, but then I did another bit about actually driving with my wife that has nothing to do with. And now I've gone off on a huge tangent. He goes, yeah, but when you're here
He
in
just wanted to
Denver,
get to that.
do you ever drive? Do you ever rent a car and drive? And I'm like, and then in my brain went, he's trying to lead me into
really
this
wants
bit.
you to go there.
He hasn't listened to anything that I said. Now
Right.
I'm like, I'm not going to give it to him.
Yeah.
Right. So now for some reason I'm mad that he's not listening to me. And on a piece of paper he has do whatever.
Yeah.
And then he did it again.
Wow.
And if you listen to the interview, you hear me go, oh. I was just like, oh. And then I go, well, yeah. And I gave him the like a really bad
Quick
version.
one, yeah.
And then the very next thing he says is he goes, growing up in the 70s was kind of weird, wasn't it? I'm like,
He looked at your whole video resume.
do you like?
And he picked those two, right?
Yeah, I
And
mean,
sometimes
I
that-
get it.
He should have let you know that. Was it live or was this recorded?
It was recorded. Listen,
Yeah.
that's more show prep than we've done a lot of times.
Yeah, exactly.
The fact that he looked and he goes, I'm going to write down 2 questions.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I don't mind that so much from my point of view. I don't like when I walk in and a guy goes, okay, there's 2 ways we can do this. We can riff or you can set me up. I go, I'm cool with either one. You let me know what you're cool with.
Right.
And that's that's usually what I do. Because I know at the end of the day, you're just trying to sell tickets at the comedy club. And that's why you're there is because the comedy club,
Yeah.
a lot of times, has already paid this station to have you there.
That's true.
So in a way, it's like,
Yeah, 'cause I
come on,
used-
sell some tickets.
when I
Yeah.
used to do radio, just for a short time in Detroit, we'd have comics on. There was a big difference. The guys who were entertaining and funny would come, blah, 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 blah. Hey, you know what? Those sell teats.
Teats.
Those sell teats.
Or
Those
teeth.
sell, or seats. And then guys that would just be like, here, you be the radio. You guys be
be a morning
Reap
team.
it
The
and
morning show?
Butera. And then
Okay.
I'll be the
Aw,
worst.
It's gonna be great.
I'll be the worst. You guys want music?
Sure.
Yeah.
What kind of DJs? Do you want us to be the bad DJs that are not good at this?
No, I'm going to be the worst comic ever.
Okay.
Let's just say,
Are we riffing or are we setting you up?
you guys can just talk to me like I came in. Oh, yeah. So, yeah, hold on. We need music underneath.
What do you got there?
I don't know. I don't have anything good.
That's all right. We
This-
don't have to play music then.
Yeah, we do. Yeah, it's going to. You guys be the morning show. Like, well, wait, come back. Here, play the song. You guys say, coming out of the song, we're going to have comedian John Heffron. You have about 11 seconds. You know what song
You
I'm
say
going
it,
to play
and
for
then
you
I'll be
guys.
the annoying girl.
Can you
Has
guys
nothing-
hear? All right, ready? But you only have 11 seconds.
Oh shit.
All right.
And it's your favorite song, John.
All right. It's going to be a hot day today, folks. Hope you're ready for that. 105. When we come back from the break, we're going to have comedian John Heffron,
Oh,
winner of
yeah.
Last Comic Standing. Remember that guy?
He's so funny.
And he's going to be on. He's from Detroit, and we're going to sit and have some laughs with John Heffron. Everybody, we'll be right back.
Great, Detroit, great.
Nice. Nice. You guys
Yeah,
did. So then
great,
now we're
Detroit,
back.
great.
All right, so now you guys are back. Why am I talking?
We're back.
I can't wait to hear this next comedian coming in. Didn't he win Last Comic Standing
This
at some
guy,
point?
yes. I was watching that season.
Oh,
okay?
my
I'm a big
God.
fan.
You
of
are?
John Heffron.
John Heffron.
Yes,
Yes,
he's in studio with us right now.
He's
Ladies and gentlemen, let's please welcome John
fantastic.
Heffron.
Hi. Oh, there he is.
Hey, how's it going?
Good. I'm tired.
What's been going on?
None. I got in late last night.
Where were you?
I don't even remember. I just travel. I travel a
That's
lot.
so cool.
Have you been to our town before?
I don't remember. I think this was like the first.
Rachel, I think you might be a little hungover.
I think maybe you were out partying somebody was partying last night.
You know
What-
where he went? He went to the dollhouse.
I think he was over there. Did you have legs and eggs for breakfast?
No, I just woke up. It's pretty
so
early.
tell us about your comedy, John. What is your comedy like?
I don't know. I mean, that's a tough question. I mean, I just, I just do whatever, I find is funny.
Are you more like a Jeff Foxworthy or more like a Patrice O'Neill type? I can't even believe I know those comedians.
It's not like you, Rachel. Yeah, tell us, do you make fun of the audience? Do you just have jokes?
Oh, yeah. Do you tease the people in the front seat? I would never
Yeah,
sit in the
I
front
would
seat.
never
One
sit in
time,
the
my
front.
boyfriend and I were in the front seat, and this comedian kept making fun of my hair. Oh, my God. It
Oh.
was horrible.
I would get up and walk. My face would be so red.
It was
And right now,
red.
while you guys are talking, there's usually somebody from the club looking at them going, he's got to go to Z95.5 now. Can we wrap it up? Yeah.
Okay, folks, that was John Heffron. You
John
can see him
Heffron's
tonight at the
great.
Chuckle Hut. 2 shows, 8 and 10 o'clock. Get your tickets right now. Call.
Funny guy. Wasn't he
Oh, I
fantastic?
love that guy.
Yeah, me too.
Love having him in here.
That's usually, though, and I was being the worst guy, but usually that's a lot of
And
times.
we have to be nice because we're paid by the club. To like,
And you never, that's what's hilarious, is they always, or sometimes they'll ask a question and then they won't, here, I'll do it, John. You be
I'll be the comedian?
you be the comedian.
am I a bad comedian or a good comedian? I'll just
You be
bad.
you. No, you be you.
Oh, that's even
but we're
worse.
gonna be like the worst radio station that you get interviewed with. Okay.
Okay.
Worse than I just
Oh,
was.
pressure's on.
Okay, so I'm gonna be.
I'm not
I
being a
tried
bad
to.
comic.
I tried to find another post talk up song, and I had it. It was like more like Casanova. It was like 80s.
Oh, Casanova.
Yeah. I don't mean to be friends. But then I forgot to write it down. So we'll just got to keep playing this one until we can replace it. Ready? Here we go. Up next, we got another comedian. I got to be honest with you, Rach. Never heard of him. He was on Last Comic. My favorite was season 1, but then I stopped watching that.
Last Comic Standing. Yeah, well, that's a big show.
Yeah, I don't have my
though.
show prep in front of me. Producer, let's start doing your job. We'll
think
come
his
back
last
with this
name
guy.
It's Reap, right?
Z22. All right, everybody, we're back. Don't forget, we'll be at the Shoe Hut from 2 to 4 on Saturday. Come on down. Check out me and Rachel. Get some great Q collectibles.
Oh, they have the
Rachel
cutest
will be
stuff
from
there.
2 to 4, right?
Yeah, girls are gonna love
I've not
it.
been. I have to go to my ex-wife's house and pick up my kid.
Ooh.
Go to soccer.
Sounds
and then I then have to go to the Shoe Hut from 2 to 4 where we'll be.
Yeah, the Shoe Hut. But you
What's
can
going
buy,
on with you?
can buy your wife some
Are you
cute
still
shoes.
dating that guy that you were out with at the remote?
Yeah,
How's that guy
it's going really well. You know, it's slow. We haven't had sex yet, but it's going well.
Oh, that's good. So,
Yeah.
real quick here, we have a guy coming in. He's performing at the Chuckle Hut.
Hi.
John Ripe.
Reap.
You might know him probably as the Hemi guy. If you know him, that's probably exactly. John, how you doing?
I'm good. Yeah,
Hi,
I did.
John.
I did 6 national Dodge truck commercials over the
Wow.
Oh, wow.
Oh, can you give us a
That's
little
what
of
you were
that?
saying.
Can you
Can
do
you
a
do it?
little?
Will you do the Hemi guy?
I'll give you a quick montage of all 6 real fast, back to back. Here we go. Hey, that thing got a Hemi? You about to find out. Come on, man, floor it. Get me closer. I smell a Hemi. That can't be good. Sweet. That's all 6.
Oh, that's great. So,
So
Rach,
funny.
you're the guy that you were out with on
Yeah.
Saturday. So you
Also
think
won,
this guy's going to
last
be
comic.
serious?
Yeah, I don't know if we were
in a
taking it
movie,
kind of
Harold and
slow.
Kumar
We had
escape.
some Indian food, and then we went back
Hold
to
on, I'm
my
going to pot
place.
John down
and,
for a
you
second.
know,
John, he's not a professional radio guy. He doesn't know
sorry.
to talk
not my-
when,
okay,
when
not my
we
turn.
talk.
God, Reap. I mean, I know you're a comedian, but you should really be quiet when other
When,
people are talking.
Hey, Jody.
So, hey,
Jody, are we going to that country station or not?
no, right. They do that. Or sometimes they just
It's
don't.
never that bad, is it?
can
Come
be.
on.
It can be.
They're
I've
talking
been to
to
the-
each other about dates they've gone on and
Just
ignoring
anything.
you.
Well,
Oh, yeah.
you know,
Yeah,
the
I've
worst one
had
is
them.
Mancow's the worst. You ever been on
I,
Mancow?
I
Oh
won't,
my
I
God,
won't do a
Howard
show.
I
hates
did it once.
Mancow.
I'll never do it again.
Really?
I did it once.
Yeah.
Right, Mancow. For those, he used to be popular in Chicago.
Mm-hmm.
And then he had,
Mancow.
he had a bunch of like
Howard Stern hates.
Hates
him.
him.
And then he used to have like a lot of fake callers, but they were like, "Oh, you're so edgy" and whatever.
Oh.
So he kind of had that persona that he was kind of just douchey and he was kind of mean.
Right.
So right after I won Last Comic, he like hung up on me.
Oh,
So he's like, he actually set me up for a joke.
yeah.
I said it, and then nobody laughed. So they threw me under the
Right.
bus
Oh,
on
no.
purpose.
Right.
Is he a big fat guy? Why does he call himself that?
I don't know. It's
I
a
don't
hook.
know. It's not-
80s.
it's
I have a
just-
fake name-ish radio.
Just goofy looking. more than
Mancow.
anything.
But I don't know if he does. And then I went in his studio once, and the mic wasn't turned on, and he kind of yelled at me, and I stood there almost the whole time.
Yeah.
Oh.
And then so I was just like, okay,
That's what I did.
get it.
I went on. I was doing Zanies in Chicago. You know that little run.
Yeah.
And I went on and did like. He talked to me maybe 2 minutes at the beginning, but he'd ask me a question or he'd introduce me. I said one thing, and then the whole show, he would do his show and then come to me like, "What do you think about that, Reap?" And I go like, "Zany's 2 shows, 8 and 10," and I didn't have time to do a joke because he wouldn't even let
Oh,
me.
because he just.
Or even be funny, he wouldn't even let you. He just wanted you there to stand around, just to show his power that you have to be here, and I'm going to make you stand.
And
there.
then they throw you under the bus. There's a lot of
Now-
radio guys that, although they're all, I haven't seen a lot of them now because I think if you're a morning show, and there's a lot of great, really fun, you actually walk into their studio and you're
Yeah.
like, oh, it's these guys. These guys are good.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, there's a handful I love.
I don't notice a lot of guys, radio morning shows that are douchey anymore. Because I think they're all just going, we're just counting down the days until we
they're all-
don't have jobs.
They're all losing their jobs. That's right.
Because I did one in Denver, super nice guy. The interview was actually really good. He recorded it, but it didn't air on the radio station because his program director said, I'm not that into comics. Nobody likes comedy. Like,
Nobody.
Nobody likes to laugh.
Yeah. So like we don't do well when we have
We do
comics.
tragedy really good
Yeah.
here.
We
Not
don't do well when
comedy.
there's comics on the air, which is the dumbest thing ever because look at this podcast. Our podcast right here that you're listening to has more listeners than a maybe top 20 market has at any given time listening. It's called a cume. It's like
Right.
in radio, they'll go, well, our cume from 7 o'clock is about 150,000.
Yeah.
Podcasts now actually get more listeners than probably most morning shows because whatever your favorite station is that plays music, you could program that type of music on your phone.
Oh yeah.
Pandora,
in about 3 seconds.
Love Pandora.
iHeartRadio. You
Yeah.
can do whatever you
All
want
that
now.
stuff. Yeah. You don't need that shit anymore.
But
It's all going to be integrated into cars pretty soon too.
yeah, probably.
Oh yeah, totally.
But what worse though, I think probably the most difficult you have is the no offense, ladies, but the news
Wait,
girl.
there's only one lady here.
But I mean,
Ladies.
Oh, you
listen,
listeners. Okay, I thought
are
you were
listening.
talking about me.
We're very popular with the ladies. Is the news girl a lot of times
You
can
know-
just wet blanket you.
Really?
You ever have that where you just get total? Now here, Rach, do this.
Actually,
okay,
I have.
I'm gonna be a guy now. Just be the humorless, really offended, easy.
Too PC. You're too PC.
Yeah, just kind of you have an issue and you're just
too politically correct.
you're full of
Oh.
yourself. You're kind of like a major star in a really small market.
Okay.
Hottest girl at the station, but you're really PC. Now, John, I need a just a leading question.
Am I the comic or the DJ?
No, you're gonna be John Reap the comic.
Gotcha.
Just give me just a real quick one.
Oh, just
so Rachel can piss
how
on
do
the
you-
joke.
How do you like the Carolina Panthers?
Okay, ready?
Yeah.
Here we go. What's the name of our station?
How about?
What do you want to be, Rach? What do you want to be? Let's be
King-
Rock Gods in the Morning.
Okay.
Or do you want to be Hummus and Tabbouleh?
Hummus and tabbouleh.
Wait, can I change my setup question?
Yeah, what's your setup?
Say, I heard you got kicked out of a Panthers game.
Okay. Now, Rachel, you just
And
don't-
I'm just the news girl, but I get
but
to
feel
talk.
free to jump in.
Oh.
No. Ask me where I'm from.
Ask you where you're from.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's my question now.
Okay.
I've changed it 3
So the
times.
goal here is now I have the setup. Wait, where you? Yeah, where am I from? Right. I have the setup, and then I want him to do a joke to get laughs, but you just be the wet blanket chick.
Okay.
Ready? Okay. Ready? Hold on. Let's do this. Guys, it's 69 degrees. Be a little bit sunnier a little bit later. Coming back up on Hummus and Tabbouleh, your number one morning show. We have Last Comic Standing winner, John Reap. Although I'm a big Season 2 fan of John Heffron. But when we come back, we'll ask John if he knows John on Hummus and Tabbouleh. Okay. Hey, everybody, back with Hummus and Tabbouleh. I'm Hummus. Tabouleh's right over there. We're here with a very funny Last Comic Standing winner, John Reap. John,
buddy.
tell us a little bit about yourself. Where you
Yeah.
from, buddy?
I grew up in a little town in North Carolina called Hickory. It's pretty bad when the word hick is in your town's name. It could have been hillbilly, redneckery,
Right.
mullet, live in the trailer parkery. But they chose Hickory. It sits at the bottom of the Appalachian Mountains, so literally hillbillies look down on us.
Right.
Oh, it's so offensive. Don't your people get offended by that?
Nah, they can't hear us. They don't have radio. And they're in Hickory.
God.
Hickory.
They're stupid.
Wow.
No, I'm just kidding. I'm joking.
offensive.
I'm allowed to. It's like I'm from there, so I guess I can. I can't make fun of people from New Jersey because I'm not from there. I'm from Hickory, so I think
I don't think
allowed.
you should. I don't think you should be making fun of any kind of people.
It goes
Yeah,
like that.
Yeah.
It
That happens
definitely-
sometimes. And it just takes it to like a bad.
Or they ask
What are you
questions,
doing?
or they just like, why would you? Or you do that
Yeah.
right here. Let's do another one.
Okay.
We're gonna change up the music. We're gonna do the Call Me Baby because it's softer. I'll just be the worst interviewer ever.
What am I doing? Am I doing me
We're
again?
making you do a lot.
Jesus, I'm actually doing morning radio now.
Yeah, no, just start like
You're
doing
practicing.
Do
Yeah.
what?
have energy.
Okay, sure.
And then just start talking, and then I'll just be the worst guy ever. But we'll just take it down and on.
Worst guy ever.
We're here with John Reap. John Reap, what's an example of some of the stuff that people will see if they come out to your show?
Well, they're going to see nonstop hilarity. I'm going to make the rafters shake and your biscuits bake. I've talked about what it's like being from Hickory, North Carolina, out in the middle
Right.
of nowhere, living in Los Angeles, one of the biggest cities in the world. I'm not total redneck anymore, but I'm not Mr. City Slicker either. I'm a Metro Jethro.
Right. How did you,
Have you heard that term?
do you talk about
Metro?
stuff like 9/11 when you're on stage?
9/11? I don't really do that. It's pretty tragic.
Right.
Don't even have a 9/11 jokes.
Well-
A little too soon still for me. I avoid conflict.
I think that's wonderful.
Would you
think
say,
it's too
John?
soon.
Would you say you are a Democrat or a Republican?
I stay out of that. I don't like to alienate an audience, So if if I got a bunch of fans that are Republicans and I tell them I'm a
When
Democrat,
you-
or vice versa, I'm not saying that. I'm
Right.
just saying if I do.
When
then
you talk about like stuff like abortion on stage, what do you? It is hard to take a stance on abortion when you're on stage.
I am pro non-talk abouty. That means I'm for not talking about that.
Right.
Yeah, I am anti-talking about it.
And what time are the shows this week?
Oh, great! Shows we got 8 o'clock.
That he can
I
answer.
hate that question because
God,
when they
that's,
look
that's
Do
because
they ask you these
Yeah,
things
'cause
about
he's-
politics and abortion?
I've only had that happen once.
yeah, but it depends. I think sometimes they'll just go, "Hey, so in the paper in Somalia, 20 people were killed by rebels. How does
Yeah.
would that affect how you talk about?" Like they'll say stupid shit like that.
They just try to tie in their last conversation with their on-air person, about what was in the news,
Yeah.
and then try to tie you into it. So if it's a bad thing that happened,
Yeah.
and they're trying to tie you into that, it's like, oh, where are you going with this? This is not helping me.
Or it's worse when they ask you questions, when they're like, "What time are the shows? Where can people get tickets?" And you're just looking at them literally, and you're thinking, "I don't know where I am." I flew in.
Yeah.
They should know
I'm
that, right?
pretty sure I'm
Shouldn't
still
they
on
have been
ambulance.
told,
They're
and then they're
supposed
supposed to
to,
tell the audience?
And then you have someone in the room with you that drove you there that's from the club.
Right.
Who usually just yells it out anyway.
Wow, you guys are you're like the real deal. Like you got people driving you places and hooking you up at radio stations and like.
It's a long time
That's
coming,
your
Rachel.
life.
15 years.
No, I'm saying like
23
that. This is an aspect of comedy that
Oh,
I never
yeah.
really thought about. You know
It's
what
a whole
I mean?
other job, that part of it.
Yeah.
Because I didn't get into comedy wanting to get up at 6 a.m.
Right.
and do morning
But
radio for
this is
3
like a
hours.
real job for you guys. It's,
Yeah.
it's your
This
livelihood.
is our primary source of income, right, John?
Well, yeah. Well, usually when if you're just talking press, you probably get up, in some cities, let's say 5:30, 6 o'clock,
Right.
and you'll do TV or radio. When there's TV,
That's the worst.
It throws. It's so because here's the deal: you're doing something at like 10, and every city has these weird. Wake up Phoenix
Yeah.
or Phoenix midday.
Yeah.
And it's
Cup of Joe with Joe and Lisa.
yeah, and those interviews are even worse than the TV, but it throws you off because you can't just throw on a hat. You
Why is it
actually
worse
have to
though?
shower.
Because they're more
you
obnoxious
actually-
and annoying, like Kelly and
Because
Michael.
on radio, sometimes you get at least 15 minutes, maybe more than that, depending on how many breaks you're on there and what they've set up. With TV, your interviews are about 3
3
to
minutes.
5 minutes.
Yeah.
And
And it's about nothing.
they
And
want to set
they-
you up, and you try to say, well, here's 3 things. They want like a lot of setup questions. I go, you're not going to get to all
Yeah.
of them. You're not going to get to all of them. Just here's 2. Just
Yeah.
go with that and trust me.
Yeah.
And they don't listen.
and they talk over you.
Yes.
So, and it's like Kelly Ripa, she's talking all like, tell me about your life on the road and what it's like.
Kelly, yeah, thanks for having it's
You have
crazy.
blonde hair just like me. Oh my God, isn't that adorable? I love it.
Turn it down. That's a good Kelly Ripa because it's very annoying. No, she is. But TV's like that.
Yeah.
The morning TV, because you're right. They're not listening. All they care about is making sure they get that next question.
Yeah,
in.
I know.
And they're not listening. And
They're not sure when you're done.
Totally not listening.
And they're not listening. They're not
And
laughing.
you follow, like, usually it's like, here, adopt this chihuahua. So there's that. And then
Right.
there's the wine set. Like, it's a whole thing. But sometimes you'll wake up at, 5:36. And then you do press until 10. So you put 4 or 5 hours in and then have your show. And not that I'm complaining
That's
about, like,
tiring,
there's
though.
people who work, but they're.
But then you got to get up, have that energy again.
That's exhausting.
And then you do the show at night and then get up the next morning
Yeah.
and do Friday's press.
So people think it's like, oh, you don't work, you sleep all day, you're a comedian. Like, that's a real fucking job. Like,
There's
and
no-
it's exhausting. It's taxing.
Thank you.
And you're
Yes.
not home even. You're away from your family and
Right.
you're on the road. Like, that's...
Thank you, Rachel.
Thank
I'm
you,
not
Rachel.
sucking your assholes. I'm just like, I've never really thought about this side
Right.
of the entertainment business and having a job. Like, I got a small, when I was a parrot like a couple of weeks ago on that show. I was a sitcom. So I was on set for 3 days.
Nice.
And I watched the actors sit around most of the day, and
Right.
then 5 o'clock at night, boom, they have to come alive and act and be on and have that energy. And I was like, holy shit, I have a newfound respect for these people.
Right,
It's
right.
really hard to do.
Although this week I decided, because there's the business end of it where you get up, you do radio, and then you go to the show. And then when you're starting off with comedy, it's just about the funny. And you're just like, oh, I just want to get my set together and
Yeah.
blah, blah, blah. And then each level you get, there's a whole new set of bullshit.
Yeah.
So even when you go, oh, I hear young guys going, oh, if I was just featuring, not emceeing, that would be awesome. Well, there's a whole thing with featuring.
Yeah.
Because then you just, as a feature, you just want to headline. And
Right.
then once you become a headliner, there's a whole
You're like,
thing
I
that
want to get out of
becomes,
these clubs. I want to go to theaters.
I want
Yeah.
to go in
Theaters.
theaters.
You want a
and
sitcom.
I
then
don't have a sitcom.
if
Yeah.
you get on TV for a second or whatever, and then you can kind of even get up past, let's say, a road headliner. There's so many super funny guys that are on the road that haven't had exposure. But once you're at that, Last Comic was awesome, probably for the both of us. But then there's a whole level of there's only one way to go, and that's to start having people not show up. So the disadvantage of spiking, I'll say for me, like there's some guys, and I won't even speak for John, that consistently keep the numbers up and like the Ralphie Mays and stuff. I'm amazed.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
But for me, numbers, so you get paid a certain amount and you have X amount of numbers. Well, if you don't keep those numbers, every year you get speeches about, well, your numbers are going down.
Right.
Who gives you the speech?
Everybody.
Agents.
From club owners to agents to man. So then I always feel like I'm constantly hustling.
Yeah.
So you can then sustain. And then I do sustain. But if you're one of those guys that don't do anything, you watch your numbers completely fall off. So it's kind of like, but I had a thing. That's why we have our podcast.
Right.
And then I haven't talked about this yet, but then I created an app for people to listen to a podcast. But then there's also ways that you can find out what shows I'm at. So it's all creative ways to letting people know where you're going to be. So you hope that converts into butts in the seats.
Yeah.
And now, I mean, we were talking about the radio's slowly dying off.
It's gone.
Facebook. I've bought Facebook ads before.
By the way,
you can target.
Yeah.
Your
I've
audience.
also, the new thing on a side note, I've bought Facebook coupons
Coupons?
and coupons.
Coupons?
But that's the new way.
What do you mean, Facebook?
You give
I
you give
saw that.
people a deal. Like, hey, Portland, here's 2 for 1 with this code.
Oh my
and
God.
Facebook charges you to do that, but then you get in front, and then it shows how many people redeemed.
Wow.
So I did it for Portland.
But don't you have to talk to the club first to okay that?
Yeah, but it's one phone call.
Right.
And for Portland's, I had 100 people claim that ticket, claim the coupon
Yeah.
in the Portland area just from my Facebook. So 2 for 1s,
yeah.
that could be an extra 200 people
Right.
that showed up, which then
may never ever been. May not have even known you were there. Otherwise.
Exactly. So
Wow.
it's all, but that's why back to this week I decided when I was in Denver that I'm going to lighten it up and just enjoy myself more and not give a shit
Perfect. Which
about
club
the
did you-
clubs and just you show up because I had such good shows and people were like, oh my God, blah blah blah. Did you grow up with me? Did you do this? It was kind of it was nice.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, I got to go old school and turn it back to just the performing.
Right.
Which club in Denver were you doing? There's 2 clubs in Denver.
The Landmark,
Oh, I like that. I like both of them for different reasons.
different reasons. Yeah,
Last time I was there at Landmark, Chuck Roy, he's always there. I love Chuck Roy.
yeah, he emceed for me.
Yeah, he's great.
Yeah.
I was there literally maybe a day, the next day after the massacre happened at the movie theater,
Oh,
wow.
which was in
God.
Denver.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
the next town over.
Yeah.
Aurora, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was fun.
Oh.
Yeah, that's rough.
Chuck
You-
was like,
you did jokes, you
What do we
did-
do? Luckily, because I'm the headliner, I don't have to worry about that because the crowd's there. They're already there. All right. The MC is the first guy on stage.
Right.
He's the one that's going to cut that tension.
Right.
Right. Because by the time I get up there, MC feature have already done jokes, and it's out of their minds.
Batman jokes and
That's why when
Yeah,
that's
whatever
why
it
when
is.
you get up there.
Although I did Chuck Roy. I love Chuck Roy. He actually did a joke about it.
yeah, that dude's
That
hilarious.
quick.
Yeah.
You know what the joke was?
No.
He's like, I'm going to murder it, but no pun intended. I'm going to butcher this joke. Shit. He's like, he goes, well, I got to tell you, there are advantages to being gay because I was at that theater when that shooting happened, but luckily I was seeing Magic Mike. It was like, not one shot fired. Well, there were some shots fired.
Oh.
No one went down. Well, someone went down.
Oh my God.
Oh wow.
Do they laugh?
Yeah.
Wow.
They Denver is like one of the best cities for comedy, I think.
Yeah. Oh yeah. By far, I've recorded
Got-
2 CDs at the downtown room.
Good, smart, level-headed
Yeah.
crowds. You know,
Uh-huh.
they're not too PC at all,
Right.
And they're not dumb to where they don't get clever shit. It's I love it. I
Not
love Denver.
dumb.
Shout out
People
Denver.
Think smart.
Hold on, let's do this, everybody.
Go to heffronandreap.com for tour dates and great links. Hey, did you get that? It's heffronandreap.com. Go there now.
Yeah, you should. And then if you go there, if you're listening to this on my phone app, the new John Heffron app, subscribe to both links. We have this as the bonus show, and then we have our regular show we do live every Tuesday. We're mishing them all together because we like to do more.
Mm-hmm.
I would hope that there's links for the app on our heffronandreap.com, but we can't promise anything. You think that would be smart.
Yeah, we can't get a hold of our guy.
Yeah, that's not with our guy. Like I'm sure he's busy and whatever, but I think this is not and has nothing to do with him. Okay, so
I'm not throwing him under the bus.
Shake
Just
it off from him.
in general.
But I think a general rule of thumb is if you have anybody do any online-y type stuff for you, you better have them. You better get a lot in that first wad that they do.
Yeah.
Because then it gets harder and harder for them to.
You mean like once they put the bare bones
I have
out
so
there,
many
it's
guys
like,
that
I'm
like
out.
you're like, this guy's the greatest guy ever, and then a week later, phone disconnected. Like they're the most but not the guy who did Heffron and Reed.
The guys at the mall that have the kiosk in the middle that sell the little airplanes. You buy it, it breaks, you go back. Oh, the kiosk is gone.
I'm convinced. I have a theory about that. I'm convinced that the kiosk people, if they don't sell an X amount of airplanes or hand cream, family members of theirs back home are killed.
It's possible.
They always show up right before the holidays, and then like after the holidays, they're gone. They're not there.
That's what I mean. It's like those girls that go, let me just see your hands for a second. You're like, no, I'm in a hurry. Let me just see your hands. And then they dump your hand in water, and then they're rubbing stuff, and then you look, you're like, my hand does look 10 years younger. And then you're leaving with this shit going, really?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, it's
this
just
is
soap.
Yeah, they really, but it's a whole. I met a guy in a plane that sells insurance to the kiosk people. A little side note.
I hate those kids. Do you
That might be
remember?
even worse.
Do you remember when you used to be able to go to a mall and just stroll and be left alone? No one ever bothered you or talked. Do you remember those
Yeah.
days?
Yeah,
You
unless
must-
you went into a
Totally.
merry-go-round. If you went into a chess
But
king,
that's an actual store.
Yeah.
But remember just being able to stroll down the middle of
Yes.
the whatever, the thoroughfare of a
Right.
mall,
That
and
used
there
to
were
be-
no kiosks and no one
No.
talked to you, and you were free to do whatever you want. Fucking hate these girls come up to me and they want to straighten my hair all the time or
Right.
use like hair things on me that they used on other people. Get away from me. I'm not doing that.
I hate when I see some, even at the airport this happens, they always have credit card people
Fucking
trying to sell you
kiosks.
credit cards when you're walking down the,
Yeah.
the airport. You
The
know?
kiosk is the worst thing ever invented.
What I do, just my same response. I was like, "Oh, I've already got that. It's awesome. I love it."
Yeah, that's what I do
Just
too.
keep going.
I'm like, oh, I'm on Verizon. No, thanks. I'm good.
yeah, they have this hair extensions,
It's so unpleasant.
and then every store, like, how many phone cases do we need?
Yeah, or like fuzzy backpacks and then like,
I see that.
sparkly Asian jewelry. It's like,
The
Yeah.
thing that almost makes me literally, I almost get sick to my stomach. Like I think if I watched it long enough, I would throw up. Is that it looks like they're sewing your girl's eyelashes.
I don't even know what that is.
You mean when they're putting on fake eyelashes?
No, they like
Threading your eyebrows.
is that threading the eyebrows?
Yeah, it's Indian women, they thread your eyebrows.
They lay backwards,
Yeah.
and then it looks like they're
I get that
crocheting.
done. Yeah.
What is that?
It's
They-
the gross.
Your
Like I
eyebrows.
want to throw up when I'm. It looks like you're being stitched.
It's no,
Oh, I see,
they're
because they-
pulling your hair out. They're not sticking a needle in you. They
So
take
instead of using tweezers, they use
a piece
strings.
of thread and they twirl it around their hands and then they go like this back and forth with it and it pulls the hair out of your eyebrow and they have perfected it to a way that they can shape it in this. It's actually amazing.
an interesting
But if you go on
art.
YouTube, you can learn how to do it. I used to
You
do
even
it to my
talking about it
ex-boyfriend.
makes me want to throw up.
It's kind of weird. It is. I have to admit, when I first saw it, I was like, "But what are they? What is threading? It sounds like they're sewing me up."
Yeah, that's
but
what
they're
I
not.
I
thought.
thought they're like knitting a sock out of your
Yeah.
eyebrows.
It's really kind of a gross thought, but they're just pulling. They're yanking the hair out with a piece of string rather than wax.
John, have you ever speaking?
Does
of
it hurt?
A little, but not. I kind of like it. It feels like a hard brush is being pushed over your skin.
How long does it take to do one though?
Takes 10 minutes to get the whole thing done, if that.
Is
They're
it
fast.
worse than getting waxed?
I
or-
like it better than getting waxed. It's longer than getting waxed, but I think it hurts less. And I also like the way the Indian women shape your brows. They
Yeah.
just have a sort of finesse to it that
Interesting.
yeah, the niggas don't.
We should get that done, John.
I was just gonna say,
Let's
I
do
don't.
a
I don't think I
segment.
could do it.
have you ever been waxed anywhere on your body?
I've not been waxed. No, but I've actually. My wife gets waxed.
She does, of course.
And I thought, like, it would be fun to go in there just because to see. I want to feel the pain. You've seen guys get
Yeah.
their chest waxed and stuff.
It only hurts for a second.
Yeah, I want to get waxed. waxed. Just to see what it feels like.
I would just assume that it would suck, and then you don't have to actually get it done.
I
You
used
never
to
had
shave-
like
I used to shave
athletic
just
tape,
one
like
leg.
on your wrist, or
Yeah,
or
it
something where you
hurts.
have to,
Oh yeah.
For a minute.
or like an EKG where they
Yeah.
stick that stuff,
It's unpleasant.
and then they rip it off. I got my eyebrows, but that would
You
suck.
did? You got your eyebrows done?
Back in the day.
Did you ever get your hair cut and then randomly the lady who's like trimming up your sideburns, she did this to me one time. Didn't tell me she was going to do it. And I'd never had, I guess this is when I figured, I thought that, wow, people think I'm getting old. Because I remember getting my hair cut.
She clipped your
Right.
hair.
She goes like, no, she went to my eyebrows. She went, ziz, ziz.
Oh yeah, I do that every
Oh.
time.
Like, no, but she did it.
With a
And I've
with
never
a
done that.
razor?
Like a trimmer.
The
like
trimmer.
like
Yeah.
a hair trimmer.
Oh God, without
like
even
took
telling
a little
you.
off the top.
Oh
of
no.
my eyebrow. Like it was apparently too thick for her liking.
Yeah.
Like I
Oh,
didn't
I
say
see.
I need to get that trimmed.
Yeah,
I'm
she
just there
just
for a
did it?
haircut
Oh,
on
that's
my
bad.
head. And she just went like, hang on, bzz, bzz, like that. I'm like, what are you doing?
It's like hair falling into your
I like
eyeballs.
antennas coming out of my forehead.
I have like my eyebrows get like Martin Landau. You know what his eyebrows look like? That old man.
right.
Because I just
Oh,
like
really?
yeah, because I'm like super hairy for a girl because I'm Italian. It's
Yeah.
gross.
Well, mine's white, but I do like the older I
White.
get, the more like thicker they're getting.
Well, yeah, they get bushy and out of control.
I
mean,
noticed
like the one
You have
hair,
thick ones.
like the size
Yeah.
of a
Heffron.
pencil.
Yeah, mine are growing, and then I'm noticing the more I shave, the closer to my eyeball I have to start shaving.
I know.
it
I
grows-
noticed this on a guy I
it's going
know.
up.
Like,
his hair
it's
is
start-
growing up on the top of his cheek like
It
a
used to be-
wolf, and I'm like, what is
Yeah.
that?
No, yeah, it used to stop right at the
Yeah.
cheekbone,
Bottom
and
of the
now
cheek. Now you're at the
now
top
I
of the
noticed
cheek.
it's almost like, am I going that high up?
What is happening
Like,
with
Let me see-
that?
Let me actually see your face.
How old are you?
I'm 42.
No, yours is.
It's gonna get
mine's
worse.
right about there, but you got dark
Wha-
hair. I've got like.
Why over time would the older you get, your
I
body
don't-
think that you need to protect more of your face for warmth?
Isn't that weird?
I have a theory on this.
What is it?
How long you been shaving your face? What age did you start?
15, 16.
15, 16.
Yeah, I mean, or yeah.
And it took you a while to figure out how to do that.
Yeah.
The hair's going this way,
lot
the
of
hair's going
years
this
of
way. On my neck, my hair doesn't go one way. It's just all over the map.
Right.
So when you shave, you gotta be like, this way goes this way goes that way.
Right.
But when you first started shaving your face, did you start up there
No.
and go down, or did you just start down here? I mean, did you start way up there to begin with? 'Cause
No.
I think what happens.
You think it draws it out?
I think you know how it is. Like if you shave something over and over again, then after a while the hair's like, well, fuck it, we're making a comeback. Asshole.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know. That's just a stupid.
I've
theory I have.
never, probably at my age of 42, I've probably used a regular razor on my face maybe a dozen times.
What do you use?
I use
Electric.
Electric razor.
I've always used
Really?
electric. And every once in a while, I'll use, this is shaving talk, by the way. I'll use,
We did the Aqua Velva.
I'm
the
fascinated
last
by the
episode.
fact that men have to shave their face every. I think that would kill me. Like if I had to do that every day, just 'cause I have sensitive
I wanna
skin.
I
grow
try
it
to go
up.
every other day.
I would just be scruffy if I was a guy. Like I'd always let it be scruffy. That's
I-
hot anyway.
I would if
think
I
it
didn't have a
looks good.
job as a comic.
Wife doesn't like the way it feels.
No.
You kiss her.
My wife gets, if I, at
Or if you
Christmas.
go downtown.
Well, see, if it like yours, that would hurt. But then a couple more days, it would get a little bit softer, and then it would be okay. But
It
like,
gets red. I get all red and
yeah,
good stuff.
fucking shaving. I'm getting
Let's
the
go get
laser
waxed.
done. The
You getting laser?
laser, sir. Yeah, the laser. They laser the hair off of you.
Where are you gonna get that done?
Uh,
Not where, but where on your body?
No, I've had my mustache done.
Really?
I've had some hair taken off my chin. I'm such a fucking
How
guinea.
does it? So what do they do there?
So the first time they did it, it hurt so bad I was hysterically crying. They squirt this gel all over your face, and then
Right.
they run over your face with this laser, and you smell burning hair. The whole room just smells like burning hair because it's
love
sending an
that.
electro pulse down into the root of your hair.
What
and
happened if you
burning
didn't get it
out of
done?
your
Could
face.
you grow a full-on stash?
There was a point where I could have grown a full goatee, and
Nice.
I'm not even exaggerating. There were days where I couldn't leave the house. It was
Really?
it was bad. Yeah.
So what did you do while that was
I
happening?
had to
You just-
shave it.
You just shaved.
I
Yeah.
had to, and
Yeah.
then like once I started making money in my last job,
Right.
I was paying like $370 a pop just to get the hair lasered off of me, and now it's gone. Thank
so
God.
that brings up my point. Now, are you worried that if you shave it, keep shaving it, it's just going to come back thicker, as
No.
opposed to if you use a laser or waxing?
What they tell you to do is you can't wax it or tweeze it in between the laser. You can shave it though, because I think that shaving thing is a myth about
Okay.
shaving
I
and
thought
having it
so,
come
too.
back. Yeah,
Yeah.
because it's all about growth cycles. Your hair grows in cycles and all that. So they said you can shave it as much as you want, just don't wax or tweeze it because that affects the cycle and how it grows. So
Wow.
so that's what it is.
I know a guy who had the laser hair removal on his face too,
Yeah.
and it kind of scarred him a little bit. Like he's got a little burn right here.
Was he dark skinned or light skinned?
Dark skinned.
Yeah, it can't.
And he said he couldn't go out in the sun.
You're not supposed to go in the sun with it.
Wow.
It's bad.
Welcome to my world.
But I know.
Being a ginger.
So white.
Hey guys, as much as I would love to keep talking about our facial hair, let's wrap it up.
Including mine.
Let's
How much
wind
time
it.
was that?
It was good. It was a good show.
Awesome.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was good. It's.
I'm just saying it flew by. That's why.
I like
Solid.
doing it this way. And if you haven't already, if you go to heffronandreap.com, click on the subscribe buttons, and then if you happen to be on iTunes, man, it seems like we ask a lot from you, and we appreciate it. Would love for comments on iTunes.
Yeah,
That's
that
what helps.
Us get our ranking up, our rating up,
Oh, I
and the
gotta
more
do
that
that,
happens,
right?
the more.
Yeah,
we
really,
get.
we're sick of carrying you, Rachel. And then
Okay.
also, please, there should be a link somewhere, but there's not. If you go John Heffron in the App Store, you can get the new John Heffron app that has some cool features to it.
Download it.
And then you can listen to our podcast just right from your phone.
Don't forget the Amazon link on heffronandreap.com as well. You know, holidays are coming up. You click on that Amazon link, we get a little something. Doesn't cost you a dime.
Yeah, so there you go. We really appreciate you listening. This has been the Heffron and Reap bonus show, which is no different than the regular show. You know, it's just us just giving.
More bonusy.
We just give, and give.
It's the Heffron and Reap Bonus Show.
Oh, sweet.
This is the place where the guys upload bonus shows while they're on the road. Sometimes it's just John. Other times it's John and John. Huh? Either way, it's all good. Go to heffronandreap.com for tour dates and great links. Hey, did you get that? It's heffronandreap.com. Go there now.